Today we're here at I4 Design's Interior Stagers located in Cold Spring, Kentucky, servicing all the Cincinnati area. And we want to tell you why, if you're not staging your home before you sell it, even in this seller's market, you're crazy.
Action, which is the warehouse.
My.
So these are projects that are pulled for, that are going to go out.
Okay.
The designer gets a job, she takes a table, she marks it, and starts loading it up.
Yep.
All right, well, why don't you guys introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your company, and then we'll talk about home staging and why sellers would be fools not to do it, right?
Okay. So I'm Sharon Cobble. The company is I4 Design Interiors. And this is Maureen. She's one of my lead designers. There's 5 lead designers, and we've got a team of about 12. So the company's been in business 12 years now, and we've grown and grown and grown. We have a 20,000 square foot warehouse and enough here to stage probably 85, 90 houses. We're filled to the gills with all kinds of different inventory, all different price points. We've got some high-end luxury pieces, and then we've just got things that would work for the majority of houses out there. And what else?
That's great. So so the warehouse is amazing here. You have a ton of space. If we were to start from the beginning, and someone who's going on Google and saying, should I home stage my house? How would you just give a basic definition of home staging? And when you give a consultation to someone early on, just walk me through those steps and some of the common questions home sellers might have.
So I think most of the time people don't understand what staging is, and that it is a marketing tool, and how you live and how you sell are 2 different things. And so you want to make sure that they understand the value of removing all family photos, having neutral palette, decluttering, which clutter's an ugly word, so I'll kind of say edit. Perhaps we edit the space.
You tell them to edit the space?
I do.
That's
I do.
amazing.
I think that's just
a good one.
kind
I
of
haven't used that
word.
one.
Yeah.
I'll have to remember
this
that.
down by half, maybe. But it's just making sure that every single space within the house shows optimally.
Yeah.
And as we talked about, those online photos are the first true showing that your house is going to have.
Yes.
And so you want every single photo to just look fantastic.
Yep.
And so that's where we will coach a seller through the fact that neutralizing and decluttering and depersonalizing is going to help you sell for the most amount of money in the shortest period of time.
Yep.
And that's what staging really is.
And you mentioned, you compared marketing to versus someone who is, what did you say? Not design. What did you?
Decorating.
Decorating.
Yes.
Marketing versus decorating.
Yes.
So explain the difference
Yes.
between those 2.
Well, and so
Decorating is very personal.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're decorating to live there, and when you're staging to market your home to other buyers, how they would live in your home.
Right. So when you have someone, you walk into the home and they have some gaudy person, whatever it is, but they love that.
That's
thing,
a word we
right?
don't use.
Right. That's the word that the agent can use on the
Yes.
YouTube channel. But but something that they love, it's personal to them, and you've got to kind of
Gently.
yes,
Yes.
psychologically like
Yes.
say, I know you love this thing and it's an amazing thing, but what our goal here is to market your home to get it sold for the most amount of money.
Right.
That's what
And
we're
so
doing.
Right.
one of the key words I do like edit, because
Yeah.
I think that's kind of, but we will then in that case say, this is really taste specific.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And that will not translate well in a photo, and a lot of times that is something that most buyers are not going to feel is in their taste.
Yeah.
Or
I always use as a comment too that 10% of the people only can visualize their things or visualize the room setup. That's why we have lead designers. I can go into a
Right.
blank room and I'm already buying furniture and redecorating, to my taste. But a lot of people can't do that. They can't come in and look at a blank space or someone else's furniture and put their furniture in there.
Right.
And it's a 10% of people can only do that.
Right.
Yep.
So it helps, as you said, edit to clean out. So you can say, will my dining room table fit in there? Well, could my family live here?
Yes.
So that's what you want to put out there.
Yeah. And so, and I just want to say to you who are watching this, the real goal here is it has nothing to do with your tastes or your style or anything like that. You're hiring a professional stager to come in and do a job. And their job is to make buyers who are starting their search online fall in love with your place and have an emotional attachment, kind of something click inside of them of like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And if they do their job right, which they usually do, you're going to get more interest, you're going to get more showings, you're going to get more offers, and ultimately you should get more dollars in your pocket when you're using a professional stager. So don't take it personal. How many houses do you have active at one time?
The most we've ever had out, I think, was 72.
Oh my gosh.
And we have enough inventory to stage, I would say 85, maybe 90 houses, because we just keep buying and buying.
Yeah.
But right now, I think we're about the 40,
Close to 50, I think. Yeah, 50, 40,
47, 48. Yeah. It's always fluctuating.
Well, let's talk about cost. That's probably another huge question. And you said,
Right.
as we were kind of walking through the tour, most people think it's going to be this crazy amount of money. Let's talk about the cost. What's an average, if someone's living in their home, and I think you said you do maybe about 70% of the homes you stage are occupied.
Vacant.
Are vacant.
Yes.
And 30%
Yes.
are occupied.
Yes.
Oh, I got that wrong. Okay,
Yes.
the other way around. So,
Right.
let's talk through what is it cost for a home seller to get a home staged.
So when people try to say, well, what is the average cost? Of course, it's dependent upon the size of the property and price point. But in general, we can say it's between 0.5% to 1% of your list price. So let's say that it's a $500,000 house. Average cost for staging the key rooms, the main spaces of living room, dining room, family room, kitchen, and master would probably run $3,500. 36, 37, thereabouts.
Yep.
So that's kind of an average. We do say that if there's some rooms that are important that we want to highlight and market, if you've got a first floor study and everybody's working from home now, we really want to do that. If there's a finished basement, we want to include that. But we can price that out individually as well and say
Yep.
this is an option if you want to include this.
Now, another question I saw that people were asking is, do real estate agents ever pay for the staging?
They do.
I had a lot in I was transferred here from Northwest Arkansas, and we did a lot, and the agents did pay. Some of the bigger properties.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
agents did pay. So
Yep.
I seem to run into it more there than I do here, but we had a lot of new builds.
Yeah.
A lot of new builds.
So as an agent, in Cincinnati, the average sale price, I think, is around $200,000 on average, which is a little lower than maybe some of the homes you're doing. And so if you think of an agent getting 3% commission, that's about $6,000. That person might not be giving up some of their commission. But if you're doing a home that's, say, $600,000, $700,000, $800,000,
Right.
and the commission is anywhere from $18,000 to $25,000, and that agent is working to get your listing, they're trying to beat out some other agents, then everything is negotiable. Just so you know that when you sign a listing contract with an agent, you can fight for that in terms of, hey, I'll give you the listing, but will you pay my staging or half my staging or something like
We had a
that?
lot
So
of agents
ask for
also
that.
split it with the homeowner.
Yep.
Right.
Or the seller.
Or say,
the
I'll pay
builder.
for the
Yeah.
first month inventory rental,
Yes.
but you pay for the staging fee and the delivery and the pickup fees.
Okay.
So that's
Yep.
another way that you
That's great. So let's then talk about ROI, okay, and the value of staging and what can home sellers expect. Is there a certain dollar amount you can guarantee us? You have contracts that have guarantees, right?
We cannot do that, but what we've seen is, especially in this heated market,
Yeah.
right? So all the sellers like, why do I even have to stage? And what we say is, if you're going to spend $3,000 and make $10,000, or more, because we've seen so many of the homes that we stage where they were in these bidding wars that were going, $10, $15, $20,000 they were asking. And so that's where, yes, you can sell without staging, but are you going to sell for more money by staging?
Right.
And quicker.
And quicker, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, especially when you get into the owner-occupieds, where it is painful listing your house and living through showings and keeping it spotless.
Yeah.
They want as fast as possible.
So yeah, it's not only just more money, but
Yes.
it's also speed.
Yes.
Right.
And getting
Right.
it under contract, and so
Right.
you don't have to do the 1, 2, 3 weeks of showings
Yes.
that disrupt your family in the meantime.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
And I think, for me, thinking through this in the market, when everybody knows it's a very hot market and has been for 10 years and just keeps getting hotter these last couple of years now. And so most sellers are thinking, well, I can just do whatever I want and throw it out there on the market, and I'm going to get well over asking price. And it doesn't work that way. Even though it is a hot market and you're probably going to get more than you thought for it, you're still competing against other homes that are out there. And you're also competing for how much can you get for it, and you're competing for the buyers to fall in love with it. And I would say recently what I'm seeing, early this spring, we were seeing everything going over ask price, very competitive, people waiving inspections, and the most aggressive people who had really good agents won a lot of those deals. Now what I'm seeing in mid-July 2021, when we're filming this, is people are starting to pull back. And they're tired of being burnt. They're tired of losing weekends and going out there and making an offer and getting emotionally tied to it. And then they're fighting against 10 other offers, only to hear 2 days later that the listing agent, they chose somebody else's offer. And so both, I would say, the buyers are pulling back from that. And so you're actually seeing, even though the demand is really strong, you have some buyers who are kind of hesitant right now. They want to see, is it going to make it past the weekend so I don't have to waste my time? And then on the seller side, the where you see some sellers pulling back right now is they know, yes, I could sell my house for more, but then what? Then I got to go buy a house for more, and I got to go into this crazy jungle of a market too. And so they're kind of pulling back too. So what are you going to do to stand out, right? That's kind of the question is. And the home staging gives you that first impression, which Maureen was saying is online. 95% of people, their first impression is the pictures online. You want people to fall in love so that buyers won't be hesitant to pull back, but they're gonna show up, they're gonna make an offer, and they're gonna offer over asking price, and that's what the home staging can do. Do you agree with that statement?
Yes,
Perfect.
we do. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think the national statistics are like 67, 68% of buyers agents say that their clients will always choose a stage versus a non-stage home.
Yep.
I mean, it's just because it creates that emotional attachment, like you
Yes.
talked about.
Do you see more staging in a buyer's market versus the seller's market?
I think, surprisingly, this market where the sellers are like, woo, don't have to do anything. The good agents understand it isn't a matter of will it sell or not, it's how much above asking can we get.
Right.
Right. And so I think, surprisingly, we've been really great and
kinda
busy,
consistent.
and just, right before COVID, we were on this trajectory of, oh my gosh, we were just, exploding with work.
Yeah, so when somebody's getting ready to sell their house and they're thinking about it and they know it is still a strong market and
Right.
they've got some equity in the house now, when should they call you? What does that process look like of getting you involved? Walk us through that.
Yeah, well, we used to talk at a walk and talk. So we walk through every room, go through neutralizing the room, if it needs paint, or even, like you said, editing the room, cleaning out, putting away. Just making the space look bigger. People
Right.
want, bigger space, clean space.
Updating if need be,
Updating.
even light fixtures, which
Right.
are really simple and easy
Yep.
to update. Knobs on cabinets, things like that I think they sometimes don't even see.
Yeah.
But that's our job, is to go in and point out to them that this is a really simple, easy, inexpensive change
Yes.
that would really elevate your product.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like Maureen said, it's difficult as an agent to stay in a positive relationship with your client if you have negative feedback to give them.
Right.
So we always say, let us be the bad guy. Let us come in and professionally and kindly explain what staging is, why it works, how it works, and get them to understand what they need to do to ensure their property shows well.
And you can justify this. Let's say you put your house out there on the market and it's not getting bites, and it's not getting the showings, it's not getting the offers, and you mentioned, well, price reduction's generally going to be 5 to 10% of the listing price.
Yeah, and so if you can spend, money to stage a property, which is proactive, and that is probably going to be 1/3 to 1/4 the cost of a price reduction.
Right.
So it's kind of like, let's be proactive and not just keep dropping in price. Let's do something different.
Yeah. So I want you guys to catch that, because I think this is really the thing that, if you don't, the title of this video is, if you don't stage your house, you're going to hate yourself later, right? And the problem is, if you're in a hot market and you put your home out there and you don't put some money and thought and foresight into staging the home on the front end, and now you're out there and you don't have an offer in a week or 2 weeks because you just thought it's a super hot market and of course it's going to sell. Now you're in this really bad spin down that you don't want, which is your agent's going to say, hey, we should have an offer by now. It's been 2 weeks, and if we don't have an offer in this market, it means we're overpriced. Then you have to drop your price in a seller's market, which the only thing that, besides losing money, right? The other thing that does is it alerts every single person who might be interested in that house, and it tells them there's something wrong with your house. And they're like, why didn't everything's selling in 2 days? Why isn't this one sold? What's wrong with it? And then when they do come and bring an offer, they're going to give you an offer even lower because they're like, well, it didn't sell in 2 weeks, so you've got something seriously wrong with your house. So this is why you want to think through it on the front end and put your house in the best position. It's so important. The moment it either goes in Cincinnati, you can do a coming soon, or the moment you're going active on the market. That's the most important part, because that's when people are getting the first impressions, and that's when you can get the most demand from buyers. So don't make the mistake of not staging your house.
I think that first impression thing, it's hard to go back.
Yeah.
If you put your house up for sale and then you're trying to go back and, then clean it up or then get new pictures, somebody's already flipped through, they've already passed your house up. So first impressions, I think that's a good one that, that's why you need to stage first.
Yeah, and we feel like every house should be staged. Every single house. I mean, if it's vacant, it needs to be staged. If it's owner occupied,
Right.
you need to have a consultation.
Yeah.
And have us, give them the plan.
Yep, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, so final tips for home sellers when they're thinking through staging. Any final thoughts you want to leave them with so that they're not making this big mistake and not staging it?
Get a proposal, understand what the cost is, and understand the value of it. Q-tip clean, critical. Depersonalized.
And at the very minimum, when you guys are doing a consultation, and that's what, I don't know, a couple $100 for that, right?
Yeah.
For them, and even if they're going to try to do it themselves,
Right.
to have somebody with a different eye to come in the house, to come in the space and say, do this, and this, so worth it,
Yeah.
right?
If we can coach them through and give them a plan.
I would even say, look at our website, look at our pictures. That's what your house is supposed to look like in your pictures.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
You want your house to look like this.
Yes.
Not necessarily you're going to live like this,
Right.
but that's how you want your house to look.
Right.
But our website has great pictures of, jobs we've done and kind of get a comparison of, does my house look like this?
Yeah.
Yes. So market your home appropriately.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a marketing tool. That's what staging is.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Eric.
All right, guys, we're just finishing up that interview with Maureen and Sharon, and very cool to see their space. I was really blown away by the amount of items they had in inventory. The fact that they can do 70, 80 houses at one time is pretty mind-boggling. But I hope that was helpful for you, and if you are thinking of staging your home or if you're thinking of selling your home and you hadn't considered staging, I hope you're at least considering that now, because honestly, every time I've staged a house, every time I've used home stagers, I've gotten more interest on the home than I normally would have, and I've gotten better offers than I would have. And so it feels like a risk maybe on the front end, but you can pretty much bank that it's going to pay for itself and then some. Even if the money is not crazy higher, like we talked about in the video, you're gonna probably sell your home faster because people are gonna fall in love. When I take buyers out into homes and they go into homes that are staged and aren't, the difference is so big. When a home's not staged, it's like it feels dirty, it feels cluttered, it feels like they don't want to take it over. When it's cleaned and decluttered and staged, people fall in love with it. And so if you're thinking of selling your home, definitely consider staging, definitely check out i4 Designs. Hope this video was helpful for you guys, and continue to watch the videos. Thank you for liking and subscribing, and we will see you next time.